This is Intro to Microbiology Week 5 video essay number 2. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the life cycle of Plasmodium, and I've drawn a diagram which I'm going to go over, and that's going to answer. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. So let's get started. Today we are talking about the life cycle of Plasmodium, which is a parasitic protozoan genus class of sporozoa, which causes malaria. How does it do this? Well, the malaria parasite life cycle involves 2 hosts, an Anopheles mosquito and a human. And for the purpose of this diagram, I have just drawn a slice of human skin here. So during a blood meal, a malaria-infected female Anopheles mosquito inoculates the human host with sporozoites, which are these little squiggly things here. And those sporozoites then infect liver cells, these hepatic cells. Once there, they mature into schizons. The schizons rupture and release merozoites, which are these little dot-looking things. And this initial replication in the liver is called exoerythrocytic cycle. So then, these merozoites, they infect red blood cells. And there, the parasite multiplies asexually in an erythrocytic cycle. The merozoites develop into ring-stage trophozoites, and some mature into schizons, which rupture and release more merozoites, and that cycle continues. And some trophozoites differentiate into gametocytes. And during a blood meal, an Anopheles mosquito will then ingest the male, which is the microgamete, and the female, which is the macrogamete, gametocytes, which begins a sporogonic cycle. So this is the cycle inside of the mosquito now then. In the mosquito's stomach, the microgametes penetrates the macrogametes and produce zygotes. These zygotes become motile and elongated and develop into ookinetes. The ookinetes then invade the midgut wall of the mosquito, where they develop into oocysts. These oocysts then grow to the point of rupturing. Here you can see that bursting cyst, where they release more of those sporozoites into the salivary glands. And then that mosquito bites somebody else and inoculates those sporozoites into a new human host, perpetuating the cycle of malaria. So we just went over the diagram, and I answered a couple of questions in the prompt. So we talked about what disease it causes, it being the Plasmodium. We talked about the stages of the malaria in the definitive host and the stages in the intermediate host. Now we're going to talk about signs and symptoms of the disease. So signs and symptoms of malaria include chills, fever, sweating, which usually occurs within a few weeks of being bitten. An infected person may also experience muscle and abdominal pain, as well as diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, headache. Could be some mental confusion, pallor, increased heart rate, etc. So things like that, that's what we're looking for. So those symptoms can range from pretty mild to pretty severe, up to the point of death. The symptoms are caused when the parasite develops in the erythrocyte, and numerous known and unknown waste substances, such as humazoan and other toxic factors, accumulate in the infected red blood cell. When those infected cells lyse, those substances are released into the bloodstream along with invasive merozoites. This stimulates macrophages and other cells to begin producing cytokines and other soluble factors, which acts to incite fever and influences other symptomatic responses in the body. So that is it for today. To recap, this video covers the life cycle of Plasmodium. It covers the disease that it causes, the stages within the definitive and intermediate hosts, as well as signs and symptoms of that disease, and how the parasite causes those signs and symptoms.